Okay, so today what we are going to do, we are going to understand the houses, right, in astrology. We covered the first house as well as the second house as well as the 11th house, 12th house we have covered, right? So other than that, we are going to cover all these things, right? Third house today we are going to cover, right? So what is third house in astrology? As we know, we have 12 houses, and each and every house covers every aspect or different aspects of your life. It is not every, but different aspects of your life. If you want to talk of your vehicle, jump to 4th house. If you want to talk of your spouse, jump to 7th house. If you want to talk of your love, relationship, affairs, jump to 5th house. If you want to talk of the debt, disease and enemy, jump to 6th house. If you want to talk of the paternal property, longevity, the hidden knowledge, etc., jump to 8th house. If you want to talk of luck, prosperity, etc., jump to the 9th house. If you want to talk of your domestic happiness, jump to 4th house. If you want to talk of your profession, jump to 10th house. Similarly, for gains and desires, jump to 11th house, and for expenditure, jump to 12th house, right? So this is how the things are done. So today we are going to understand the depth or the deep features which is related to the third house, because as of now we only know that third house is your courage, your hard work, right? It is your courage, your hard work, your siblings, etc., right? Okay, so now the main thing, because every house has one main feature or main characteristics by which the house is being called. The 4th house is your happiness, the 10th house is your profession, your 7th house is your spouse. But other than this, what else that house represents? The 5th house is your progeny, your education, your intellect. The 2nd house is your speech, your family, your finance, right? But what else that house has? Because each and every house has very deep insights. So today we are going to understand the third house. So short journeys is to be seen from the third house, and I told you that day also that short journeys means a distance which is within the 15, within the range of 15 to, let's say, 70 kilometer or 80 kilometers, which is short distance that could be covered in 1 or 2 hours, which is short distance. So people who are fond of doing short journeys, or people who are into marketing, doing field work, they have to travel from one place to another. They have connection of their 10th lord with their third house, because 10th house is your profession and third house is your hard work, short journey. You are supposed to come to the field. You are not supposed to sit inside a cabin having air conditioner and fan on the top and bell in your hand that you are going to bang. No. If you want to have bell in your cabin or comfortable chair having white towel on the back, what combination you are supposed to have in your birth chart? 10th lord in which house? Let me know. Soumya Mataji, Radhika ji. 10th lord in which house? Prabhuji, any idea? No? 4th? In
fourth.
No, not in 4th house. But see, field job is being taken by people who have body strength. But sitting job is being taken by people who are more intellectual. That doesn't mean people who are on the field, they are not intelligent, but it is the combination of the planet which is making them to go on the field or sit on the chair. So 10th lord in 5th house. 5th house is your intelligence. I told you that day too. Whenever you have a connection with you have a connection of 5th house with 10th house, you do anything which required brain. That means the top CEOs of the company or the board of directors, people who are planning or making strategies for the firms, they have a strong 5th house and a connection of 5th and 10th house. Even the spiritual speakers, even the teachers, even the government bureaucrats, they are sitting inside a cabin. Even the prime minister, president, on one call, 10 people are coming to the cabin and asking, oh yes, what you need? Water, tea, coffee cup. So they are having that comfort because of their brain, right? Okay. So now 3rd house is your short journey, your hard work. So if you have your 10th lord in 3rd house or 3rd lord in 10th house, you can do, you are supposed to be on field, right? Or you can do anything which has anything to do with 3rd house. Let's say war is to be seen from the 3rd house. So even the soldiers, army person, they have connection of their 3rd house with their 10th house. You are doing any profession where you required courage. Courage is 3rd house. Write it, please. Courage is your 3rd house. Risk is your 3rd house. Hard work is your 3rd house. Right? That means a sports person, they also have the connection of their 3rd house with the 10th house. Now, small siblings are also to be seen from the 3rd house. Now the question comes, whether my small siblings are going to support me or not. Just jump to the 3rd house. Whether they would be submissive to me, jump to the 3rd house. Small siblings is your 3rd house. And elder siblings is which house? Let me know. Radhika ji. Any idea? Soumya Mataji, any idea? Absolutely correct. It is the 11th house, which is your elder sibling. See how you are supposed to see it, or what is the way of learning. The 2nd house is your savings or your finance. The 12th house is your expenditure. The 3rd house is your small siblings. The 11th house is your elder siblings. The 4th house is your house, your comfort, your domestic environment, or the place where you live, your shelter, your flat, your property. It is to be seen from the 4th house. And the 10th house is your profession. That means when you go out from your house. The 1st lord or the 1st house is you. Now it is your choice. You feel more satisfied at your workplace, your office, the lord of 1st house in the 10th house, or you feel more comfortable at your own house, which is your 4th house. If you feel more comfortable at your workplace, that means you would be hardworking. You would not gain weight easily. You would be fit and fine. But if you choose 4th house, just because of comfort, you could have so many health related issues. You could get obese. Right? So many things to be seen. The 5th house is your children. And the 9th house is your father. The 5th house is your children and the 9th house. See how the things are opposite to each other. This is your finance, this is your expenditure, this is your third small siblings, this is your elder sibling, this is your property or shelter, this is your office, this is your fifth house progeny, this is your father, this is small obstacles or short-term disease, this is long-term disease. And who is going through all these things? It is you, which is your first house, and your partner, which is your seventh house. This is why you have your spouse just in front of you, because we both are going to face these situations together. It is not just me. And me and my partner, we are one, we are not different, right? This is how the astrology is trying to make you understand that what is a spirituality. If you understand the houses of astrology, believe me, so much of your spirituality you could understand, so much. This is why astrology is known as Eye of the Vedas. Okay, now daily communication. Daily communication is what? It is also third house. Daily communication means communication is second house. But when a person is going to marketing or he is joining the field of marketing, he is supposed to speak 4 lines to every customer. This is my product. My product has this specialty. You should buy my product for this reason. You should not buy the product of different company for this reason. This is the daily communication. Okay. Now writing related work, it is to be seen from the third house. That means anyone who has their 10th lord in third house and third lord in 10th house, they could do anything which is related to writing. Right, Radhika ji? You are understanding the concepts?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Okay. So writing related work is to be seen, it is to be seen from the third house. Why? Because third house also represents anything which is related to hand, anything which has anything to do with hand. That means if you are writing books, doesn't matter what you are writing, a modern book, Big Bang Theory, or black hole, it doesn't matter, or Bhagavad Gita quotations you are writing, it doesn't matter. Writing is writing. You must have anything to do with third house. And which planet represents writing? Can you tell me, Radhika ji, which planet represents writing? Can you tell me, Soumya ji? Mercury? Radhika ji, answer from your side.
I don't remember, Roji.
Okay. See, no worries. It is the Mercury, absolutely correct. Why? Because Mercury is Lord Ganesha. And Lord Ganesha was asked, he was requested from Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva was the incarnation of Vishnu. He told that whatever I speak, you are supposed to write it. So writing is Mercury, because Mercury is Lord Ganesha, as well as it is Jupiter. Radhika, yes, okay. If someone who has a strong Jupiter in the horoscope and poor Mercury in the horoscope, what is going to happen? The person has good wisdom, great wisdom. He is learned. He has intelligence. But because of poor Mercury is witty saying. You asked me something, because Mercury is a child, and child likes to speak very fast. Child never thinks like an old person. You ask anything to a small child, child answers within 0.10 seconds. And you ask anything to an old person, that person is going to reply within 1 or 2 minutes, thinking and then answering. So if someone who has a strong Jupiter in the horoscope but poor Mercury, he has the knowledge but he is unable to recall, because Mercury is the spontaneous intelligence, is spontaneous. This is why Mercury is a what? Mercury is a stand-up comedian. In a stand-up comedian, sense of humor is required. You are supposed to react quick. Timings is required. Right? So, if someone who has a strong Mercury in the horoscope but poor Jupiter, it is also of no use. You know how to speak spontaneous, but you are not having knowledge. Right? So Mercury and Jupiter both are required if you want to become an intelligent person or the respectful person in the society. Yes, he is having that intelligence. Or you want to become counselor, problem solver. It comes from Jupiter and Mercury. Okay, so hand related work. Now, what could be hand related work? Radhika Mataji and Soumya Mataji, you tell me. What are hand related works? Please tell me. Cooking, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Yes, very good. More, Radhika ji.
Agriculture, maybe.
Agriculture.
Yes.
Okay, agriculture. Yes, because yes, agriculture too. Then more things. Carpenter. Carpenter. Right? Right, Radhika ji? Carpenter. The plumber. The electrician. The painter. Artist. The drum player. The keyboard player. The mridanga player. Harmonium player. They all are doing anything which is related to hand. The traffic police. You are guiding the traffic. Radhika Mataji, I hope you are making the notes. Okay. So anything which has anything to do with your hand. Even if someone wants to go in sports, people who play volleyball, badminton, lawn tennis, table tennis, hand is required, not your legs like soccer. Right? Okay, so now moving ahead, the third house is your right ear. If malefic planet sits in the third house, then what happens? The person could have problem related to right ear or shoulder as well. And body strength is to be seen from the third house. Body strength. That means if the first lord of first house goes to the third house, the person is physically very fit. You check this. He is physically very fit. He loves gymnasium. Gym. If the lord of ascendant goes to third house, person loves gym. But if the lord of ascendant goes to the 8th house, person loves what? Yoga, meditation, etc. Similarly, if Mars sits in the first house, the person loves running, bicycling, gym, kung fu, karate, taekwondo. But if Jupiter sits in the first house, what happens? The person is more interested towards yoga, meditation, pranayam, etc. Right? So everything, each and everything is represented by a house as well as planet. Right? And afterwards, when you go even deep, then you would understand even the zodiacs represents something. Even the zodiacs, right? Okay, so post letter, it is to be seen from what? From the third house. So people who are into delivering post letters, people, the Amazon worker, Flipkart, Amazon, eBay, the delivery person of Amazon, he is into field work because his work is to deliver the items of the people at different doors. So he she must be having anything which is related to third house, the connection between the 10th house and the third house. Now, moving ahead, driving is anything which is related to hands. You believe this? Right? Yes, even the driving is third house. So people who is in the profession of driving a taxi, cab, it is also from third house, to be seen from the third house. Right? I hope Radhika Mataji, you are understanding.
Yes, Prabhu, sure.
Okay. Now, the sports is also third house. The tour and travel business, it is also the third house. Right? Tour and travel business. That means people who are working in metros, the transport, the roadways, the railways, they also have the connection of third house and 10th house. Right? Now the freelancing is to be seen from the third house. Why? Agriculture, Radhika Mataji, you put it absolutely correct that agriculture to be seen from the third house, because agriculture is anything where hard work is required, body strength is required. You have a very big field where you are supposed to grow crops, so way too hard work is required. This is why farmers, they must be respected, even the army persons, because they are contributing a lot, right? So freelancing, what used to happen in India, I don't know the rest of the world, but in India, in previous time, what used to happen, the farmers, they used to grow crop at one land, because in previous time we used to have so much of land. Earlier the population was not this much high, so the land was more. So they used to grow crop, and after growing crop, they used to cut it and they used to move to another field. Now this field has gone. We are not going to use this field anymore because they used to burn it. So this field is of no work now. So moving to another field, what used to happen? They used to grow there. So it is freelancing. You are not staying at one place. You complete this task, this project on this particular land. Now you are moving to another property, another land. So this is freelancing. So freelancing is to be seen from the third house, right? Okay. Now, I would let you know that why cinema I have taken here, but not now. Maybe after, but maybe cinema is anything, because even in cinema, what you do, you complete a particular movie, a particular role, and you go to another movie, then you are making a different role there. So it is like a freelancing. right? It is like a freelancing. So cinema is to be seen from the third house. Okay, now moving ahead. Hobbies. Hobbies is what? To be seen from the third house. What kind of hobbies? If someone who has Jupiter in the third house, what hobbies that person could have? Let me know. Radhika ji, Soumya ji, let me know.
Studying.
Mataji, I could not listen. Could you please repeat?
Reading, maybe.
Okay, okay. Mataji? Reading, absolutely correct. He is into hobby of, that person is into hobby of reading so many books, right? Yes, absolutely. Novels, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, etc. Yes. Then? Okay. If, okay, then also writing related, hobby a person has when Jupiter lies there. When Saturn lies there, what happens? Because Saturn represents something old. So you are into hobby of collecting the old items, right? You are having a collection of old coins. You are having a collection of old football jerseys, etc. So it is to be seen from the Saturn. If Moon sits there, because Moon is a watery planet, so you could have a hobby like swimming, fishing, right? In Indian society, fishing is not considered as good, and also not eating fish, right? Because fish is Matsya avatar of Vishnu, so one should not eat fish, right? Okay, if someone who has Mercury in the third house, can you tell me what could be the profession? What could be the hobbies? Can you tell me? Huh? Sports. Sports is the third house only. Yes, if Mars sits in the third house, then person could have any hobby which is related to strength. Sportic. This is for sure. Whenever Mars sits in the third house, the person has hobby related to dancing. Please write it. Hobby related to dancing, hobby related to cooking, hobby related to sports. This is for sure. If someone who has Mars in their third house, right? Okay, now moving ahead. Moving ahead. This is Mercury and third house. If you have Mercury in your third house, you could have any hobby which is related to gardening, sericulture, playing with the numbers, which is Sudoku, using your intelligence like chess, debate, argument. I know argument is not a hobby to anyone, but still, you and your friend sits, having tea together, and you are making, okay, I feel this soccer of this country is more better to this country. Okay, this thing, right? Okay, now Sudoku. No, this is cube, right? This is magic cube. Solving it, because in all the items, intelligence is required, right? Intelligence. So it is your third house. Now moving ahead, Mercury in third house. Moving ahead, Moon in the third house. You could see fishing and even the swimming. And I told you that fishing is not good, but swimming is really good for your health, but not the fish, because you are supposed to let the fish to swim, not to take her out of the water. Okay, moving ahead. Then if Mars you have in the third house, then you do anything which is related to the body strength, right? Okay. Now moving ahead. The fourth house and the property we would read today only, right? Today only we are going to read it, that what is fourth house in the astrology and how does it influence. Venus in? Okay, Venus in third house. Yes, Radhika Mataji, please let me know. Venus in third house. What could be your hobby if Venus is in third house? Soumya ji, you let me know what you feel like. Singing or music? Yes, beauty. Then you are into hobby of decorating your face, right? No. See, some people, they have a hobby related to what? Related to decorating the things, right? Decorating a pot. You bought a pot from the market and you are sticking the stars and different things on over it. You are making it to look beautiful, aesthetic. This is Venus, right? And also, yes, okay, moving ahead. Now we are going to understand that what is fourth house of the birth chart and what things to be seen from the fourth house. So the very first thing, which is property, or on the surface, by the surface, what a term, a specific term given to the fourth house. Radhika ji and Soumya Mataji, you tell me, what a specific term is given to the fourth house?
I think.
Yes, you tell me, Soumya ji, what a specific term given to the fourth house? The specific term given to the third house was small siblings or hard work, right? Mother, you can say, yes. Mother is land, you can say, or at general, you could say happiness. Because if you have land, you could build a house. You have happiness, you are happy, you are having a shelter which is going to protect you from rain, meteor showers, etc. Mother, she is always looking after you, taking care of you. So it is the fourth house. So property is to be seen from the fourth house. The house or the building to be seen from the fourth house. So a particular term which is given to the fourth house is your happiness, particularly domestic happiness. Right, now moving ahead. So to get out of home, that means if you are having a planet like Rahu in the fourth house, when we discussed the churning of the ocean, Rahu changed his party. He was sitting with the demons, but he went to whom? He went to the demigods. That means when you are leaving your community and you are living in different community, for example, people from foreign country, they come to India and they start living here. They must have any, Rahu like planet in their fourth house. Or people, Indian people sometimes go to London, British, sometimes they go to USA, sometimes they go to Australia. We have a lot of Indians in Australia. So if Rahu you have in the fourth house, you leave your motherland and you start living somewhere else, which is of different community. So foreign settlement, if Rahu sits in the fourth house, foreign settlement, it is good for foreign settlement or foreign traveling. Now vehicle is to be seen from the fourth house. If someone who has weak Saturn in the fourth house, because fourth house is your property, your house, your building. Your house looks like it is, very old. Your house looks like very old. It is some, it must be made 20, 30 years back, because it is very old. It seems like very old. Because Saturn is a planet which represents old thing. If Saturn has influence on the 4th house, one buys the second hand vehicle, not first hand, second hand vehicle. Right? If Saturn has influence on the 4th house, they buy a property which is second hand. That means old flat you are buying. So what a astrologer has a job here. If someone comes to astrologer and asks, should I build my own house from the scratch, or should I buy new house? Then you can say you are having Saturn in your 4th house. Better you buy the old house. If you try to buy a new house, or if you try to make a new house from the scratch, you would not be satisfied, or obstacles would come. Now, the 4th house is your mother. We have already discussed how to look at the health of the mother, or the happiness from the side of mother. Pond, well, if someone who has watery planet in their 4th house, watery planet are which planets? Moon as well as Venus. Particularly moon, if someone has, then they could have pond or well, or sometimes aquarium. People who are having the hobby of having an aquarium at their house, right? Or you could live anywhere, a property or a land which is near to the sea or the river. In France, people have house near to lake. Boats, they have boats in between, and they are going here and there through boats only. So they people could have any yoga, specific yoga in their horoscope, just like moon in 4th house. This is why they are having a house which is near to the lake or the sea. Okay, now moving. Huh?
My house,
Huh?
my parents' house is in the beach. Also, after marriage, I also live in the beach.
Okay, see, Soumya Mataji is saying that she's from Japan, and she says that she used to have house near to the beach. And let me tell you, she is having moon in her 4th house. Right? So thank you for sharing. We got live example.
No, I don't know. Yeah, not
Okay, so now pets, cow or horse to be seen from the 4th house. I have already told that domestic animals which gives peace or happiness to you, because in previous time someone who used to have cow or horse at their houses, they used to be considered very lucky, because cows, they used to provide, they provide milk. Milk is a source of calcium. Calcium takes care of your bone. If you have a strengthened body, then you would be happy. But if not, then you would not be happy, because health is wealth. And horse is used as a vehicle in previous time. You could sit on the top of the horse and you could travel from one place to another. Now the 4th house is your mind. If someone who has malefic planet like Rahu or maybe Saturn in their 4th house, they could have negative thoughts in their mind. Now you say everyone in Kali Yuga is having negative thoughts, but particularly this person. So this person, if she comes to spirituality, this malefic planet like Rahu and Saturn in the 4th house, they would act as a blessing to this native, right? So every yoga has a positive as well as negative aspect. Now you are supposed to convert your negativity to the positivity, your tamoguna to the satoguna, your rajoguna to the satoguna, and satoguna to shuddha sattva. There are 3 energies of material, the satoguna, rajoguna and tamoguna, but the 4th, which is the shuddha sattva, it is higher to these 3, shuddha sattva. So everyone, they try to bring themselves from tamogun to rajogun, and rajogun to satogun, and satogun to shuddha satogun, because even the satogun is not the best. In satogun, the person do good to the society, donating, helping people, making social work, but they have desire inside that one day I'll be getting the return of it, which is really not good. If you are expecting something, that means you are still around the 3 modes of material nature. Now moving ahead, the pure mind is your 4th house. That means someone who has Jupiter in their 4th house. Jupiter is very pious. Their mind is very soft, very pious, right? If someone who has Venus, Moon, they are very, very good planets, right? And someone who has Mercury in 4th house, because Mercury has very good sense of humor, then this person is really good at making comedy. Whosoever has Mercury in their 4th house, they are very good at making jokes, comedy, etc. Right? Now the 4th house is your education. Why education? The general education or the education up to 8th standard, it is to be seen from the 2nd house. The education up to 12th, it is to be seen from the 4th house. The education up to graduation, it is to be seen from the 5th house. And the education up to or the post graduation or higher education, it is to be seen from the 9th house. And PhD is to be seen from the 8th house. Okay, right? Okay. Now moving ahead. The heart is to be seen from the which house? The 4th house. That means if malefic planet sits in the 4th house, the heart becomes stone. You are not soft. You are not soft with your heart. Right? Stone-hearted person. Kshatriyas are generally stone-hearted. Why? Because they are into killing, fighting. If you are like warm-hearted like Arjuna, asking Lord Krishna that I don't want to fight, having emotions, you are becoming very emotional at the workplace. Becoming emotional at the workplace is not good. So Kshatriyas, they should have a malefic planet or the influence of malefic planet in their 4th house, like sun, right? Okay, now moving ahead. What is lungs? Lungs to be seen from the 4th house. Rahu in 4th house is not good for your lungs. Please write it. Rahu in 4th house. Also other factors to be checked. Rahu in 4th house is not good for the lungs of the person. People of your birthplace to be seen from the 4th house, right? People of your birthplace. How was the society where you were born? People were illiterate, uneducated, or it was a good society. It could be seen from the 4th house. The motherland, people who are more attached to their motherland, maybe the lord of ascendant in the 4th house or the lord of 4th house in the ascendant. People are more attached to their motherland. Now the garden and Kshatriyas or the army person, they should have anything as such having attachment to the motherland so that they could protect their motherland, right? So garden is to be seen from the 4th house. People who have Mercury in their 4th house. Earlier we discussed people who have Mercury in their 3rd house. They are into the hobby of what? Gardening, sericulture, looking after the plants and the pots. But now Mercury in the 4th house. That means person has the garden outside their house. This is short, right? People who have garden outside their house. It is because Mercury in their 4th house. Now the water, right? Water also to be seen from the 4th house. That means people who are having the scarcity of okay, water to be seen. I think I have written this point half, it should be something in front of this water, not just water to be seen from the 4th house. Okay, now moving ahead. Longevity of father to be seen from the 4th house. Why Radhika Mataji and Soumya Mataji, longevity of father to be seen from the 4th house? Can you tell me? Radhika ji, any answer?
Prabhuji, I don't know.
Okay. No worries. I'll let you know. See, which house represents the longevity of you? Which house? Radhika ji, can you tell me?
It's a 8th house, I think.
Absolutely correct. It is the 8th house which represents the longevity of the native. Now, if 8th from the 1st house is your longevity, similarly 8th from the 9th house is the longevity of the father. 8th from the 9th house is the 4th house, right? So any debilitated planet, this is personally I have seen, debilitated planet or malefic planet in the 4th house is not good for the longevity of father, right? Okay, now moving ahead. Knowledge of the scriptures to be seen from the 4th house, because the 4th house is your mind. If your mind is unfocused, then how you are going to focus, right? And the 4th house represents the happiness. Happiness means a satisfaction within you, and it comes from scriptures. When you read scriptures, right? Okay, now the false accusation, that means someone who is accusing you falsely that this person has done this thing with me. So false accusation also to be seen from the 4th house. Some people who are not guilty, but they are made so, or sometimes I should not speak, but they are made so. So false accusation, is to be seen from the 4th house. But yes, it is the law of nature that a false does not lie for a longer time. Truth would come someday. It is the law of nature, right? Okay, now the domestic happiness. Domestic happiness, that means happiness under the roof. You are living with your mother, with your wife, your father, and your progeny under a shelter. How happy you are, how comfortable, how peaceful you are. Do you feel happy? If the answer is yes, then you could have the benefic planet in the 4th house. If not, then you could have, if there lies planet like Sun and Mars, because Sun and Mars are fiery, fire inside the domestic environment, the fighting, etc., which is not required. If someone who has Venus in their 4th house, they have very comfortable house. They have sofa, dining table, TV, etc. at their house. They're like very comfortable. I talked of Saturn, I talked of Rahu, I talked of Jupiter. Jupiter in the 4th house, your mother is very wisdom. She is having the wisdom. She is spiritual, and also you are spiritual. Guru from the side of motherland. Maybe if Jupiter sits in 4th house, you find your guru nearby to your place. Right? Okay. If Mercury sits there, I have already discussed that the person has garden. The person has the tendency of making jokes. He is a laughable person. He is always, happy and laughing, making jokes. If someone has Mercury in their 4th house, right? If Ketu sits there in the 4th house, then person has to leave their birthplace. They have to leave their birthplace. Because Ketu is a detachment. You get detached from your birthplace. If, let's say, what planet? If you have moon in the 4th house, I talked of it, then you could have a river or a sea near to your house. Like Soumya Mataji, she is having moon in her 4th house, and she is from Japan, and she was having a house which is near to the beach. If someone who has sun in the 4th house, what does it mean? You could have a house near to the government institution. If someone who has sun in their 4th house, they could have the house near to the government institution. Right? So this is how the things are to be seen. There are so many aspects of a particular planet sitting in one house, but I am sharing just the basics. Right? First you understand the basics, then after you move to the deeper knowledge. Right? So this is all for today. If you feel any doubt, I'm stopping my slides, or this lecture is just for 1 hour today only. So if you feel any doubt from your side, please let me know. And also you could share your feedback. How was the class? Radhika ji, how was the class, and any doubts?
Hare Krishna. Well, it was good, interesting as always. And also Well, many information.
Okay.
It is good that you also are repeating many times some information, because this way we can just uh remember. Yes, you have it in mind, because I have my notes, but I would like to have all this in my head. So yes, but with the time, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Soumya Mataji, any doubts? Class was interesting? Okay.
I think that is so really
Yes, so astrology is very deep, Mataji, very deep. It has so much to go inside, you know. Even when you become 80 or 70, you can still have some new insights of astrology. So astrology is like a big ocean. So I'm having a glass of water with me, which is very little, right? Okay, so thank you for today's lecture, right? Radhika Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you.